Hi, today the main topic is why front-end engineering is close to the business. So before beginning of explaining this kind of topic, um, I'd like to say thank you for my subscriber, which is he commented because yesterday I took a video and I didn't share my screen, and I was explaining some kind of random some kind of topic but without sharing screen. And one of my subscriber, I didn't really actually I didn't really expect someone to watching my video. And so my subscriber, I think my subscriber, he said his name is Darshan. I don't know he or she, but he took he said the sharing is not working, the screen sharing is not working. So this topic is actually it is for yesterday, but yesterday I didn't really take the video really well, so I'm just gonna pushing myself explaining those kind of topic. So I had to take the video for the today, but I'm just gonna take take a video of today, but I'm just gonna postpone to tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm just gonna take two video. So this video is from for the yesterday because I didn't share my screen. So let's begin. So main topic is why front-end engineering is close to the business. This is actually for the startup. Before begin, your engineering, your front end, what server or front end engineering has to be minimal business impact. Example, even refactoring the code has to be business impact of it. Example, before refactoring, your original code was really messy that if you put another feature, there was really lots of bug on it, and there's more latency because if there's more legacy code, there's more latency. So you find out you renewed your original code. So if the bug is drastically reduced and the latency making some kind of new feature is decreased, that is also the business impact of it. So that is why we have to think about business impact even though refactoring. But today main topic is focused on the front end engineering or the server. I know even startup, even server engineering is really important, but I'm just gonna say the front engineering is really kind of close to the business rather than server. I'm not really kind of ignoring server, but it's just like front end engineering is kind of really, it is. I'm like, it's really front end engineering. What they manage who content of the website, even the minimal thing. So even this, if this is for the startup, the front end engineering the skill is really important. But I'm just gonna try to explain the business first. There's the development model, which is customer. There's a customer development model. There's a product development model. Since this is really kind of theory, so I'm just gonna give example. Example, you are some kind of you wanna start a business, and you think your idea is really absolutely amazing, and you think that your product is gonna be there will be some kind of lot of usage if you're just launching it. So this kind of product development model. So you're just gonna get the investment even though you didn't launch the MVP. So product development mostly used in really like large company that already validate their own business model. But if there's not, a lot of startups don't use the product development model. But some of people choose product development model is especially those who from the Harvard or great company or great career. They choose the product development model because they had absolutely great career of it. But customer development model is that basically you don't know what your friends don't like, so you absolutely don't know what your users like. You don't know what users like. So you have to think about for the users. You have to make the customer. You have to make customer really like your own product, but you don't know how to do it. So you're just trying to guess it, but trying to like ask for the feedback or those kind of thing. So based on this kind of business development model, the customer development model is the foundation of lean startup. So lean startup is basically based on the customer development model. So lean startup, there's a two key part of it, which is one is pivot. Another thing is build, measure, and learn. So why is it? What is this? So build is actually you build MVP, but I'm just gonna tell you, if you just think about, oh, okay, I'm just gonna build MVP within 2 weeks or 1 month. If you think that way, this is actually not lean startup based BML loop. Basically, lean startup is really based on the custom development model. So you don't know what your customer like. Let's say you're like Mark Zuckerberg. When Mark Zuckerberg first launched Facebook, it's not really for the lot of users. It's for the Harvard, their own university. He really tried to make to like their own product. So what they did was they put like feature, or they put some kind of profile. They can just profile, but you can see public profile of the other users. But the thing is that he didn't know this kind of feature is gonna really make a lot of users to use it. So he just made hype. Of course, he just made hypothesis. He put hypothesis that user will tend to click the like button when they see person that he like or she like, or for the friend. So this is the hypothesis of the like feature. And public feature is that a lot of users, they tend to have the crush on it. So they want to see the crush profile. Is she or he is solo? Is he or she have a girlfriend or not? Those kind of profile is actually based on this kind of hypothesis that this user will likes to see other person's profile. And those kind of based on the hypothesis is also the key of the build. So you're building MVP is basically is just making your hypothesis in the real world and check is user really like your product or like your feature or not. So based on the hypothesis, you launch MVP, and then you have to measure it. The measure thing is really important because you have to think about how many people just click your like button, or how many people just look at the public profile. Those kind of things is actually measured, and you learn from that. Example, think about this way. What if user didn't like the like feature? They didn't really use it. So you have to learn from that. So you based on this kind of learning story, you have to think about you have to validate your hypothesis again. Oh, we thought our hypothesis that we thought people like feature, clicking like button, but we measured it. Well, most of users did not use this kind of like feature. I'm just giving example, and we have to change our hypothesis instead of like button. Example, user don't like button, but what if user like dislike button? So those kind of things is a very it's really called a pivot. Your hypothesis is wrong, so you have to change hypothesis that opposite of your base hypothesis or different hypothesis. So this can actually, so based on that you pivot thing and you do build and measure, learn, and that's kind of BML loop. So back again, why the front-end engineering is close to the business? if you look at the lean startup, the build making a feature is kind of very credential. The front-end engineer is the one who doing the all of the UI, UX, even the core feature register, whatever stuff. And right now in the 2025, front-end engineer can also do the desktop application and also the Android application. They can use web view. They can just use web view of it. So front-end engineer can do a lot of stuff, and their own responsibility is make the MVP based on the hypothesis that your PO wrote, and after launching the MVP, this measure has to be integrated. But that is also engineering part. Okay, you're doing the measure, but how do you doing the measure? The one big one of the representative of the measure is logging system. A lot of great company, a lot of big tech company, they attach logging on this like button. You can do it, and it is really easy. Logging is not really hard. For example, there's a button. There's a like button. This is I'm very bad at drawing. It's a like button. When user click it, the log system detects it and it stores the data. That user click this kind of user ID is here. This user ID 0, click the like button. So if this kind of like button is really if there's a lot of data of this like button, that means that your hypothesis is correct. If there's more retention of it, your hypothesis is absolutely correct. But those kind of thing is logging system is also important, and that's kind of really front-end engineers part to who doing the logging system on the web application of it, because that is directly attached with the UI of it. And next, A/B testing. So what is A/B testing? A/B testing is that you in the one feature you think the A design or A sub feature or B sub feature is better. Example, there's a one big feature on it, but your designer or your product owner think that the fundamentally it is same core feature, but the design could be different, or the minimal of the feature will be different. So you think about two ways, which is A and B. Based on that, if you have high retention rate or retention rate on the A, they chose A. But if there's low retention rate, they don't choose B. So based on they have to attach the logging system, but also A/B testing. And A/B testing also the engineering part. So and those kind of A/B testing is engineering part. So most of big tech companies do is they use cookie value, which is for the HTTP header, and they use core requirements of the URL, and they show the A feature or B feature for the users of it. But mostly A/B testing is for the launching the new feature or sub feature. Those kind of thing is for the automation. This kind of thing is really have business impact of it. Even though the engineering thing is kind of low than MVP, but this kind of thing is really kind of important for the startup. And based on that, you learn from it, and you go back again if your hypothesis is wrong. So those kind of thing is actually the lean startup, and this is why front-end engineering is really close to the business, and even look at the even startup, because those kind of things can handle by front-end engineer. Of course, server engineers should be there, but if it's like only one server engineer, that would be really hard. Even though, but if there's one also front end engineer, that would be hard. But if there's one server engineer and one front end engineer, if the front end engineer's skill ability is kind of really good, this kind of thing is really kind of he can have or she can give some kind of good business impact of it. Of course, software engineer can do that, but for the startup, since the worker there's kind of limitation of hiring people. So front-end engineer skill is more I don't know what to say, but yeah, it's kind of close to business. So I think this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.